You might not always realize it, but pyramids were built by various civilizations, and new discoveries might prove that they're on every continent across the globe, and possibly on other planets in our solar system. They're not just in Egypt anymore, folks, that's for sure. From large mounds built by Chinese emperors to various Egyptian construction projects that still look pretty cool, here are the most mysterious pyramids from around the world. But first, a quick shout out goes to Aiden for leaving us this comment on our Discoveries in Caves video. It's amazing how modern technology can possibly bring back extinct animals. Let us know in the comment section if you think the aliens built the pyramids or not, and give your reasoning why, and maybe we'll feature you in an upcoming video. Number 16. Pyramids of Dozier. Built long ago in 2700 BC in the mysterious ancient land of Egypt in the necropolis of Saqqara is the Djoser Pyramid, which dominates the landscape of the nearby area. It stands 203 feet tall, or 62 meters, and was once polished with white limestone. It was constructed by the second king of the third dynasty, King Dozier, which gives the step pyramid its name. Before step pyramids or smooth-edged pyramids became popular, the pharaohs of ancient Egypt preferred to be buried in mastabas, which are rectangular prism-shaped and typically are made of mud bricks, like we see in this photo. We began to notice an advancement in tomb architecture when mastabas began to get stacked on top of each other, essentially creating a step pyramid. The pyramid was not simply a tomb at this point, it was a way to reach the afterlife, so total dedication to the project was necessary. Number 15. The Bent Pyramid. An ancient architect had originally built this pyramid too steep and had to make some correction midway through to correct it. This bent pyramid in the necropolis of Djoser begins at a steep 54-degree inclination, but midway through, they realized that this wouldn't work and the top section was corrected at a 43-degree inclination. This would give the pyramid its bent aspect, and that's what it's known for today. Some people probably don't mind the fact that it's slightly bent and like its bent aspect. In any case, if the architect had continued with its original design, it would appear extremely bizarre and would most likely not exist today and probably would have collapsed. A large majority of the external polished limestone remains, making archaeologists very impressed that something was done right on this blunder. Number 14. The Bosnian Pyramid. Most people probably wouldn't come to Bosnia and expect to see a pyramid. It's possibly that because it wasn't discovered until 2005, and because you probably never learned about it in history class. If the claims are real though, the Bosnian Pyramid would be 25,000 years old, and the oldest pyramid ever built, which means we all need to start burning our history books again. Archaeologists are extremely skeptical of this because it defies accepted history. If you take a close look at it, it truly takes the form of a man-made structure. Many want these extraordinary claims to be backed up with extraordinary evidence before it gets accepted among the archaeological community. If it is real, it definitely deserves a place on this list. Strangely shaped mountain, or possibly an ancient pyramid. Anyone from Bosnia want to let us know in the comments section? Number 13. Chinese Pyramids. You might have heard about China's Great Wall, but what about China's Great Pyramids? As we're about to see, pyramids span the globe, and China has their fair share of pyramids as well, almost making it an international symbol of the ruling class. You see how there are some similarities with the ones in Bosnia and how they're covered up in vegetation. The main difference between the pyramids of Giza and the pyramids of China is that the ones in China and Bosnia may possibly be mistaken for the grassy knoll. This photo we see here is of the Maoling Mound, which is the largest of any Western burial mound among the Western Han Dynasty. It measures roughly 47 feet and had walls 6 meters thick. The infamous tomb of Qin Shi Huang is another pyramid-type structure known as Mount Il. It also contained the Terracotta Army and is still rumored to have tons of booby traps, so watch out. Number 12. Nubian Pyramids. We're all familiar with the mysteries of the pyramids of Giza along the Nile River, but what about the Meroe pyramids from the Kushite kingdom? These were the Nubians that the Egyptians would often wage war with in present-day Sudan. The Nubians had learned quite a few things from their neighbors from the north, but couldn't really replicate the pyramids in a similar fashion. These were built at much steeper angles. There are about 350 of these ancient buildings constructed around 2,700 years ago, which served as tombs for kings and queens. Bodies of royalty were placed in huge granite sarcophagi, which weighed 15 tons each. Many of them were used to house the remains of the queens and the princes as well. Number 11. Moon Pyramid. NASA has neither confirmed nor denied the existence of lunar pyramids, but this strange photo seems to make many wonder. Maybe NASA just wants us to believe that the moon is not capable of supporting extraterrestrial life. Some strange images emerge online of what many believe to be some type of artificial structure from the Apollo 17 mission. Some claim a lot of the images from the moon are hidden away in some secretive NASA vault that we may never get the chance to see. Number 10. Pyramid of Mars. Pyramid structures in nature aren't quite as common as you might think, with basically the Matterhorn being the best exception. The Curiosity rover that captured many of these never ends to disappoint in finding some strange images on Mars. Some believe that it may have even captured an image of a buried pyramid. What are the odds that the wind was able to carve a perfectly shaped pyramid on the surface of Mars? Of course, NASA wants us to go with the much simpler of the two explanations like they always do. This object is about the same size of a large car and has led many to believe that it's actually buried deep within the red sands of Mars, but who knows? It almost appears to be too precise to be natural. Number 9. Pyramid of Guim. Located in the Canary Islands is a pyramid that you're probably not familiar with, and it turned out to be one of the more mysterious modern pyramids despite some debate. Built by the mysterious Guanche civilization or natives of Canary Island, it's rumored that these people are actually descendants of Atlanteans. They also seem to have a very interesting genetic footprint. The structures were surprisingly dated to the 19th century and likely were built for agricultural reasons instead of being built for a tomb of some sorts. It's believed that there were a total of 9 pyramids and 3 of them were destroyed somehow. The pyramids are also known to line up with important astrological events such as the winter solstice and the summer solstice. Many mysteries lie within still plague these pyramids, and some believe it was even built by Freemasons for some type of ritual during these important astrological days. Could the Illuminati have made an appearance? Number 8. Chichen Itza. One of the most visited ancient attractions in the world, the Pyramid of Chichen Itza is the 3rd largest in Mexico, but most likely the most recognizable. Chichen Itza was an extremely large city for the Mayans, and this landmark was built during the late Classic and post-Classic era, sometime between 750 AD to 900 AD. Also known as El Castillo, it has exactly 365 steps, one for each day of the year, showing off their astronomical capabilities. Only about 98 feet or 29 meters, it pales in comparison to some on this list. Number 7. Upside Down Pyramid, Bratislava. This crazy radio station is found in the country of Slovakia and seems like one of the weirdest buildings in Eastern Europe. It almost seems like the engineers were holding the blueprints upside down or something. It was once a proud symbol of Slovakia and their capital city, but over time, it began to get a little bit rusty and now it's not in best condition. It's often on the list for one of the ugliest buildings in the world as well. Number 6. 1 million cent pyramid. After Lithuania exchanged their currency to the euro, they had an abundance of coins that they couldn't decide what to do with. So they said, hey, let's build a pyramid. The men who came up with this idea were physics students who collected a large amount of change. The builders of the pyramid took 1 million pennies and stacked them up into the shape of a perfect pyramid. This is found in the capital city of Vilnius. The reconstructed monument reaches up to a meter tall, and this took over a week of dedicated work. The Lida pyramid was unfortunately demolished, and the coins were dedicated to children's charities. Any of you guys from Lithuania? Leave us a comment in the comment section. Number 5. Antarctica Pyramid. So since we've seen pyramids on pretty much every continent so far, would it be too far-fetched to believe that there's a pyramid in Antarctica somewhere that's just covered up with snow or ice? Could a mountain there exist with such smooth edges naturally? Many mainstream scientists and representatives of the sheeple will tell you that we're just wasting our time by trying to examine this one any further. But you can't completely deny the fact that it does look like a pyramid, and the shadow gives off a very good triangular look to it. It at least gets you thinking about what could have possibly existed on Antarctica before it turned into an inhospitable mass of ice and snow. Number 4. Huaca Hualamarca. This beautifully preserved pyramid located near Lima stands out as a remarkable structure from the Incas. It dates back to the 6th century and was originally used by the Hualas. Its original purpose was to serve as a place of worship for the tribes in this area and was made from adobe bricks. At one point in time, everything was painted yellow, and the unique design allowed to access different levels to the pyramid. As time passed, it became a pyramid and it became a cemetery for mummies like this one right here. Other ceramic vessels like this were uncovered that were used for storage and cooking. Other mummies that were discovered contain objects such as musical instruments, masks, crowns, and tools. To this day, it remains an important archaeological site for the country of Peru. Number 3. Cahokia Mounds. The Cahokia Mounds historic site is a large pre-Columbian Native American settlement located near the Mississippi River by St. Louis, Missouri. This sacred land contains 80 earth mounds, which seems like a lot of pyramids from the ancient Mississippians. This one we see here was called the Monk's Mound, and it's the largest structure at Cahokia and was the home to the chief at the top. The base of this mound has a larger area than any in Egypt. A barricade was built around the city center, and the higher class citizens would live on the inside, separating the lower classes. The larger mounds are still visible, but the city was much larger than what it appears to be nowadays. It's believed that during the 1200s, it took up an area of 6 square miles. Some newspapers claim that giants were actually discovered inside these mounds. Check it out. Number 2. Red Pyramid. Located at the Dozier necropolis, it's the third largest pyramid after those at Giza and was a success in building a straight pyramid that's not bent. It gets the name for the rusty reddish glow the pyramid gives, also built by King Sneferu. It ascends at a 43-degree angle and measures 344 feet high, or 105 meters, and took 17 years to complete. It's clear that King Sneferu learned a few things after his failed attempt at constructing a pyramid at medium and the bent pyramid we mentioned earlier. The mastabas that are piled on top of each other are susceptible to collapse. It wasn't red by any means and was actually covered with Tura limestone. The reddish color comes from the red limestone that made up the inner portion, while the white limestone that covered the exterior was basically required and used for buildings in Cairo. The son of Sneferu would learn from his father's success with the Red Pyramid and go on to construct some of the greatest pyramids of all time, according to mainstream historians. Number 1. The Great Pyramid. We all know the greatest of all pyramids is the Great Pyramid of Giza, consisting of roughly 2.3 million stone blocks weighing from 2 to 30 tons each. Many will still feel as though this accomplishment was impossible without some sort of help from outer space. Recent studies have even shown that pyramids can actually focus electromagnetic energy. It was built by the son of Sneferu, Pharaoh Khufu, or possibly just aliens. No matter how hot it might get in the Egyptian desert, inside the pyramid remains a cool 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The granite stones in the king's chamber in the Great Pyramid weigh up to 80 tons. They were also lined up perfectly with the constellation of Orion. We could really go on and on about this topic, but we'd like to hear more from you in the comments section. So which one did you think was the most mysterious? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will feature you in an upcoming video.